I found out about the Lego Movie 2 screening about 2 hours beforehand, and you bet I rushed to the theater, got my ticket, got my seat, and I watched this movie because I love the first movie, I love the Lego Batman movie, and I was very much anticipating this movie. And I really had no idea what to expect from this movie. I watched it a week ago, so this was before any reviews had come out. I wasn't too impressed with the trailers, but since I loved the first one, I was still anticipating it. And I really didn't know what this movie was about. Very few sequels feel like perfect continuations to the original. Creed 2 and The Incredibles 2 are perfect examples of recent years that do it very well. Not only does this movie pick up almost immediately after the first one, but each character continues with their story and their own respective arcs. And a lot of sequels actually regress in character arcs when going from one movie to the next. Take Iron Man 2 for example. In the first film, he's a rich playboy who is selfish but learns how to use his wealth to do something good, to be a hero. In the sequel, where is Tony Stark? Well, you know what? He's a rich playboy who is selfish, only this time he has a shiny suit and learns to be more responsible with his wealth and that suit. That is the exact same arc, and this film does a great job at avoiding this issue. EMMET, BRICKOWSKI, voiced brilliantly by Chris Pratt, does not regress back to his old, generic construction guy habits. He has really become the special. He learned how to build outside of his comfort zone, but he is still that same goofy, naive guy that he has always been and will always be, and this movie challenges that aspect of his character by taking his friends away and giving him his own adventure to go on by himself. This film also gives a much greater arc to Wyldstyle, who kind of had an arc in the first film, but this time around, half the movie is about her and her journey. And of course, the rest of the side characters are there for the journey, and some of them have some small character arcs, like Lego Batman, but others don't really have an arc, but that doesn't really matter. They're there for the comedy, and the comedy really hits. Although this movie is not as funny as the Lego movie or the Lego movie, the Lego Batman movie, whereas those movies, like the Lego movie had a joke every 5 seconds, Lego Batman had a joke every 3 seconds, this movie has a joke maybe every 10 seconds, so it's not as funny, but they do put a lot more care and effort into making the story of this movie, which is what I thought is the most brilliant aspect of this movie. It builds off of the reveal from the original that this is all taking place inside a kid's imagination as he plays with these Legos. And this time around you get to know that from the beginning, so you get to see how this crazy, wacky story relates back to his actual life. And this is really where the heart and soul of this movie comes from. At its core, this movie is about accepting one another, both in the Lego world and in the real world. You get to see the brother's imagination clash with his sister's, and this is exactly what my childhood was like. I think this film, even more so than the first one, is more relatable and nostalgic to me. I remember as a kid having so many Legos that it just scattered across the entire floor, and we had to make paths to walk and step through just to get through my room. My cousin and I would destroy the Lego sets in their proper form just to mash these worlds of Harry Potter and Star Wars together. I would shoot lasers from my flying car to his, but then he would say that his car has a shield that is impervious to those lasers. And then he would shoot lasers back at my car, and I would say, oh, but can I have the shield too? But no, he said that's not how it works, and my car would blow up. And this is just how it worked. He had the mentality that he always had to win. And of course this isn't fair, but I went with it for the most part. Every once in a while though, I would try to break through his always winning mentality and try to go against it. And it would start fights, and this is really what this movie is like. It is a bright, colorful, chaotic story of two imaginations clashing with plot twist after plot twist, joke after joke for an hour and 45 minutes. And yes, I do stand by that statement that this movie is brilliant. This movie really did bring me back to my childhood. I felt like a kid sitting in that theater watching this movie. This movie has the lovable characters, it has all the jokes, and most importantly, it has that story to back it all up. And I can't go without mentioning some of the new additions to this film, which were Rex Dangervest, who I thought was brilliant, Queen WATEVRA Wanabe, and the surprising amount of songs in this film. I loved Tiffany Haddish in that role, and Rex Dangervest being just basically an amalgamation of exaggerated Chris Pratt characters was genius. And all of the songs were great as well. I wasn't expecting there to be this much music in this movie, and I didn't know how to feel about it at first, but as soon as they get to Tiffany Haddish's first song, I just bought into it. As you can tell, I absolutely love this movie, and I cannot wait to see it again. I saw it last week, and I can't see it for another week still, and you bet I'm going to be there opening night to see this movie, and I recommend all you guys to do the same. And trust me, you will not be disappointed like you were watching the Lego Ninjago movie, which I still, to this day, cannot get through. Anyways, guys, that'll be it for this review. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel so you can see the commentary series I just started. Me and my brother are watching all the Spider-Man movies, and we're going to talk over it, so we have a new series there. I do have 2 guests I do want to get on my podcast, so podcast starting back up soon as well. So subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.